Again, good morning, sir. Good morning, my colleagues. Okay, our statement here says delayed justice for Ochanya no longer acceptable. The Honorable Commissioner of Justice, Benue State, sir, the death of our dear Ochanya Ogbanje on October 17, 2018, brought to the fore the dastardly act of sexual abuse and molestation perpetrated against her by Andrew Ogbuja and his son, Victor Ogbuja. This led to a state, national, and international outcry demanding for justice. 3 years and counting since the death of Ochanya, justice seems far-fetched. Association Against Child Sexual Gender-Based Violence and all organizations represented here are aware that the case against Ogbuja was taken over by the state in 2019 as the prosecuting counsel and closed out the prosecution in August 2021 for the defense counsel to start its proceedings. We are here because we are not satisfied with the slow-paced proceedings. The case has already been overstretched, over-delayed, and over-pampered. Considering the loud outcry, both nationally and internationally, it is expected that prosecution would have taken place already. Some members of the civil society organizations and concerned individuals who attend the court hearings observed with disappointment how the case is being prolonged due to series of adjournments, which are sometimes pegged on the absence of the prosecuting counsel in court. This is no longer acceptable by the civil society organization and all concerned Benue people. Also, the series of adjournments that has delayed the case for over 2 years and counting has pressured on the family of Ochanya, who are not only contending with the trauma of the death of their daughter, who was drugged and raped to death, but also facing financial pressure of transporting themselves from Otukpo every now and then to attend a court hearing on the case, which sometimes lasts only for a few seconds and then adjourned. Benue people are asking questions. Nigerians are asking questions. When will justice be served? Why the delay? Do we still have hope in the judiciary to give justice to the people? How long more shall we wait to get justice? Today, in the spirit of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, we are demanding the following actions, sir. 1, the Minister of Justice should expedite action to bring the case to conclusion and prosecute the offenders as soon as possible. 2, unnecessary adjournments are no longer acceptable by Benue people and Nigerians over this case. Hence, court hearings should hold as it should and actions taken seriously. 3, due to the prolonged and over-delayed justice for Ochanya, which has pressured so much on the finances of the poor parents of Ochanya, we also demand that the state government should take over the funding of their transportation to the court hearing from the next court hearing coming up on the 2nd of December 2021 to the conclusion of the case. 4, and final, Victor Ogbuja, who is the first suspect, has been at large and has remained invisible to the security personnel. We demand that Victor Ogbuja be declared wanted.
Ministry of Justice, and I want to say that we are 100% on the same page with you on this, your advocacy, because we are, first and foremost, we are working with His Excellency the Governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, who himself is so passionate about giving justice to whom justice is due, and who himself is also against violence against persons. And that is why in 2019 he signed into law the bill that prohibited or prohibits acts of violence against persons. It's a law in Benue State here, and it is being implemented already. On the issue of Ochanya that you have come here, I want to say that to the best of our ability, we believe that justice is not delayed by our standard here, because prosecution itself is a process. It's not a one-man business. It starts from the arrest, arraignment, the issue of documentation, filing of legal advice, and then the subsequent filing of charge in the High Court, which is the court of competent jurisdiction to try this matter. That has all been done, but I just want to take you through the process of what the Ministry of Justice has done so far. Just like you said, the Commissioner of Police in Benue State sent a letter to us on the 12th day of October 2012 requiring legal advice in this matter. And then legal advice was issued on the 10th day of January 2019 in favor of prosecution of the defendant, Andrew Ogbuja, for the offenses of criminal conspiracy, rape, culpable homicide, which is punishable with death. On the 4th day of March 2019, the charge was formally filed before the High Court of Benue State. Usually, or at the beginning, the case was before the High Court in Otukpo, but because of obvious reasons, we applied for the transfer of the matter to Makurdi here, which was subsequently honored, and the matter was transferred to the High Court in Makurdi here. 11 witnesses were listed by the police who did the investigation. And when the original case diary was submitted to us, we discovered that there were doctors and other medics who were listed as witnesses. And even the AIT media team who interviewed the late Elizabeth Ochanya Ogbanje before her death, they were all listed. And so, at this point, we were faced with the issue of financing, particularly the medical report from the doctors and the lab technicians, because the autopsy was conducted on the remains of Ochanya, and the doctors required that we should make some payments to them, which we quickly forwarded to His Excellency the Governor, and he actually released funds to enable them prepare and produce these reports, which they did. We have also called them as our witnesses. They have tendered all these reports in court. Even AIT came and played the tape, the video that they interviewed her before she died. So the main trial in the matter commenced on the 14th day of December 2019. By the 13th day of March 2020, 3 witnesses had testified for prosecution. Continuation was, however, stalled by the COVID-19 pandemic, which affected every facet of our life. Again, trial of the case was affected by JUSUM strike, which was from April to June 2021. However, on the 4th day of August 2021, the prosecution had called a total of 8 witnesses, the last being AIT, during which CD played covering the interview under reference was played in open court. And that was the day that the prosecution closed her case. On the 9th day of August, the court proceeded on annual vacation and resumed in September 2021. On the 8th day of October 2021, the defendant commenced his defense and testified for himself. The defense is on. The court has adjourned the case to the 2nd day of December 2021 for continuation of defense. The prosecution team, which is led by myself, is being handled day to day by the DPP, who is the senior director in charge, the head of Department of Public Prosecution. So that is how far we have done. And I want to say that I want to correct the erroneous impression that the matter has been delayed because of absence of prosecuting counsel. We in the ministry here, that is what we're here to do. And I can't remember if a matter like this, which is very sensitive, which even the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, has been calling us to be briefed on the day-to-day, advancement of this matter. Then counsel will not go to court, and then adjournment will be given. I don't think that is a correct impression. We have been attending, we have been diligent in prosecuting this matter, but like I said, prosecution is a process. It is not just Ministry of Justice. You have the police that carried out the arrest, the investigation, and then subsequent remittance of the case diary to the Ministry for prosecution. And then you have the court. Then you have the defendant, who also has his own rights. The fact that the allegation has been made against him does not make him a convict already. So he still has his own right. And that is why the court has given him the right to also defend himself. And so one way or the other, or adjournment could occur, but I want to say that it cannot be wholly on the part of prosecution. We have done our best, and we are committed. Like I say, we are committed to ensuring that justice is done for this little girl that was drugged and killed in this circumstance. Because all of us standing here with you, we are parents, and assuming our daughters are put in that situation. So it is a matter that everybody feels so bad, and we are committed. And I want to assure you that we'll continue to do our best in this matter to ensure that justice is done. And not just for the family of Ochanya or the little girl herself, but so that at the end of the day, it will serve as this.
It's been over 3 years now since Ochanya passed away, and the sordid circumstances that led to her death are already in the public domain. But what is yet to happen basically has to do with those who have been suspected to have contributed to her plight, who are somehow on trial, while one of the main culprits is still at large. And for the two cases in court, and I'm talking about Mr. Andrew Ogbuja and his wife Felicia, there has been some level of progress, particularly as it regards Mrs. Ogbuja's trial at the Federal High Court in Makurdi. At this stage, the case is slated for adoption of final written addresses, where lawyers in the matter would canvass their various arguments. Thereafter, it will be slated for judgment. So, in a matter of months from now, hopefully, the curtain should draw to a close on Mrs. Ogbuja's trial, where the court will have to determine. However, a lot of the husband, Mr. Ogbuja, has not had the needed speed which we had anticipated at the commencement of this matter. Although the prosecution has done quite a lot in concluding its case, sometime in August, thereabout, the prosecution concluded its case, August this year. And Mr. Ogbuja has opened his defense, calling witnesses. So that is the stage we are now. But I think what is of utmost concern to us as a family, and of course it should be to Nigerians, is the fact that Victor Ogbuja, who was first mentioned in the rape of Ochanya and her eventual death, has been on the run for over 3 years. That is quite absurd. In fact, that adds to the agony of the family. And for us, there can be no closure to Ochanya's case if Victor Ogbuja is not brought to justice. Well, for the police, we have always said the police have not done their job in apprehending and bringing Victor Ogbuja to justice. And the simple fact is, what does it take to declare a wanted criminal? To declare someone who is accused of committing such a heinous crime, to declare him wanted. What does it take? They go about declaring other people wanted, other persons suspected of crime wanted. But why is this particular case different? So we begin to see a sort of collusion between the Ogbuja family and the police, where typically of them, they try to make profit from this kind of heinous crime, where suspects who are of means explore the loopholes, try to bribe police officials so as not to go after them. That is what we are seeing here. And the Inspector General of Police, particularly the State Commissioner of Police in Benue, must take urgent steps to declare Victor Ogbuja wanted and launch a manhunt to arrest him. That is what the police should be doing. If the police says if the police say they are not a part of the strategy by the family to kill this matter, then they should first of all declare Victor Ogbuja wanted all over the TV stations, display his pictures all over in the media, so as to ensure that whoever is harboring him knows that he is keeping a fugitive. And by the time he's caught, the person will also be held liable. So the police have their job well cut out for them. They have to declare Victor Ogbuja wanted for all the crimes he has committed pertaining to Ochanya's case. And that has to be done just like today. It should be done now. This is the time for it.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.